Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Day traders, closet swing traders. DJ in the morning, filling in for the Falcons. A little under the weather, so hopping in, and then I'm also filling in for Johnny today too. So I'll be rocking with you guys pretty much all day, which is good because then we get to be a little patient. We get to wait for our trade setups. Falco got the monkeypox. It's been going around. I mean, the monkeypox. I mean, they don't discriminate. They don't discriminate. Everybody gets victims. So we'll see. Yeah, the monkeypox is acting crazy like a monkey. It's bananas. There are monkeys. It's happening. But hope you guys are all having a good start to your day. Hope you guys are feeling relaxed, comfortable. Let's take a look at the SPY first, and then I have TGT up there. Some retailers got some news, so we'll definitely cover some retail as well, just as they're not on the list per se, but we could definitely look to trade them. We have the SPY, which is gapping down. Technically, it's a retest gap. The one thing, at least at this point, I would be a little concerned, and probably, even though it's a retest gap, I don't know, number one, that I want to run in bullish to try to catch anything to move up higher. The gap right now, at least, is pretty much below all moving averages on a daily time frame. So it's a pretty big gap. The last 2 days have been very slow moving inside days of this one green candle, which was a bullish engulfing candle. I think this is going to trap any of the bulls that were still kind of hanging out inside this day. I think most likely starts to get a little bit more panicky and looks to probably bail out and say, okay, we'll probably take another dip down. So yeah, everything is gapping down. I mean, it's like the entire market got the monkeypox. The entire market is suffering right now. So we will see what happens, but Ron's in the house. Good morning. We got Jose, Brandon, Matt R's in the house. What's up, Matt? Margarita's in the house. Good morning. Justin Maxwell, BEA, beautiful. Bill, good morning. Got those FOMO pox. Yeah, honestly, so I mean, you have, if this thing gaps a little bit lower, because technically we're not at the low of the day, I would be a little more excited for the short side of things. We have to also look at 405. I think it's actually 405.80, somewhere in that range. We have two VPOCs, one from over here and another one that was coming in somewhere back here. We have two VPOCs that could hold us up and give us support. So even if we drop down a little bit, that 405.80 is a potential bounce spot. But I think we're just starting to trap some of the bulls that were getting that FOMO, catching the FOMO pox. Up here in the zone, we've been kind of just channeling. We look good, nice bullish engulfing candle. We are above some of the moving averages at this point. But with this gap, yeah, it's a retest gap. So anybody that did go short yesterday, they might be closing out some of their positions. However, a lot of the bulls that were in here, I mean, if anybody got in bullish on this day, they had 2 days. I mean, up, down, maybe a little bit, nothing too crazy. Same thing here. All right, we're just still not losing on that candle. Then you have a bullish engulfing candle, good strong close to the day. I believe this has got to be, was this Thursday? I believe, yes. So this is Thursday. Good. Everyone's feeling happy in the bullish direction. We might take another run up, and then just 2 more inside days. So 2 more inside days, thinking this might happen again. We finally get that break. We're actually breaking the other way, and I think some bulls are going to be a little cautious on maybe buying at these levels. And then I think you do have some people probably trapped. Again, decent high wave candle down here, nice little bear trap down here. We did make that break. We had solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of green, but 3 of those days kind of consolidation before that break. And now we are gapping down, probably even just coming in for some kind of a retest. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, probably not my lifetime, at least. Although technically if I die, then that's the end of my world. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be just we're selling off the cliff. I don't think. We have some good levels of support. There's a lot of VPOCs in this area, but coming down, retesting a little bit, bouncing back, at least not until CPI. So I think, again, the market's going to make some small moves, kind of readjust itself, prepare for the CPI numbers. But Fitman says no one dying here. I saw a report the other day that they could do like the Benjamin Buttons effect. They're starting to do it on mice, and they're like, we're about to do it on humans. So like you could just reverse your age and live as long as you want, as if we don't have a food shortage supply already. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the SPY. Again, I probably have to lean a little bit more bearish today, but I think we're at an interesting level. We do have some key support coming in that we would be approaching. That's good bounce spots, and I think we just have to kind of pick and choose our battles today, unless something else really develops. Let's take a look at the Qs. Brock is in the house. What's up, Brock? The 3 blind mice. I don't know. Sometimes the blind mice could trade better than me sometimes, you know? Sometimes I wish I was a blind mouse. Let's see. So we got Qs, again, very similar. So gap down. This is technically a retest gap, but we are almost clearing this one little pivot. We are below those moving averages again, so it's not a great sign that those moving averages that were looking like they were trying to kind of curve over failed. And to me, that would be probably a little bit more of a down day. Just on the TTM squeeze, that's actually 3 days of the momentum swinging bullish, and probably trapping a few more people in that move as well. So again, we'll kind of take a look, find out. Tesla has the state of Texas Attorney General looking into the Twitter bot problem, because there's not a lot of real issues going on in the world, and they probably have a lot of free time to start looking into bots, I would assume. So, he just had so much extra time, and he's like, I'll take on this task, throw my hat into this Twitter nonsense. Top of the list. Everything else, just sideline it for now. Immigration no, Twitter bots. The bots are invading Twitter. That's what's happening. That's what we got to focus our attention to. But yeah, so a pretty decent big gap. I was watching the 700 number, so 700, and let me just pull up my other screen just for my own sake. But I was watching that 700 number very closely. If we open under that 700, I think we have the ability to potentially be looking for a decent down day on Twitter. First stop would be 670. And whether it happens today or not, I think probably we'd be looking for about 650. But we really want to hold 700, especially 705, but somewhere in that range. The fact that we're opening is not a good sign. Again, we do have a retest. It is a retest gap on a daily chart, so we could see some buying come in first. I drew some fibs. Let me share that screen. So we drew some fibs. Let me see if I could move this in a little bit just from this previous move. And we're looking like this was the 50% retrace. Where we're opening is under that 50. And then probably that 618 is going to be the next spot that we might see a little consolidation down there somewhere, but 685. And the real VPOC is actually coming in somewhere around 670. And we probably see, I would assume we probably end up seeing at least a retest 634. That's an untested VPOC that we could get down to eventually in daily. I don't think that happens today. We'll have to see how much panic there is in the streets, but I don't think so. Matt says, I bet I'm skip. Jose says, stupid question. Matt says, I have an order for funded account. Bearish play at 703. Yeah, there's no shot you get 703 filled. I hope it gets filled at 703 and not just takes you in at market. That would be my only concern, is like they just market exit or market enter you at current price, but I don't think you get filled at 703. Jose says, stupid question. For example, today you say it's a retest of lower levels. I'm always confused. Yeah, so good question. I mean, retest means the retest of the previous candle, right? So usually it would be, if there's no, like it's hard to tell sometimes where it's going to retest, where the exact location is, but that's with anything. Like it's you kind of have your range, but usually I'm looking for the bottom of the candle. So wherever the low of the previous day is usually a good spot. But if there's like a long wick, sometimes it's into the lower body. I've also seen candles start getting up into, so let's say this was the retest candle, strong selling candle, meaning that a lot of people are shorting. All the retest is, sentiment would still be bearish, but there's people, let's say on this day, that shorted, right? So let's say this day didn't happen and we gap down to here. There's people that are profitable. They went to sleep, they wake up with more money in their pocket than they did the night before. So what happens is they have to close their positions. They have to pretty much be buying back their shorts, which anytime you buy something, it now moves higher. So you're retesting the previous day candle. Do you use VPOC as possible retest spots? Yeah, I'll use VPOC all the time. For pretty much every trade that I'm taking, as far as like good entries, good buys. I like to buy as close as possible to the VPOC. It might not always be the best spot, but it's giving me the best risk to reward because honestly, if we then start breaking down that VPOC, we probably are looking for the next one. If the next one's close, I'll use that. So like, let's say I'm taking this trade and we get down to, or we're opening at this level of the previous day VPOC. I'm trying to buy as close to here, and then my next VPOC is there, so I'm going to be under there. That gives me 2 levels of support for my stop on that type of move. But again, so we have like, yeah, we could definitely get back into, if we go crazy and we start buying, then I'm looking for about 714 on Tesla for the retest. But my first stop would be probably somewhere in the 704, 705 range, retesting pretty much this is nothing more than an inside candle, right? And I'm trying to use the one that actually matters. In a bigger history of Tesla, nobody's going to remember the inside candles. Your more action is going to be on the breakouts, and then you have some kind of resting period, and then you break. So I'm looking for possibly a retest into the 705 range, somewhere here. We could get into about 715 if things are retesting heavily at open. I don't know if they will or not, but those 2 spots. Otherwise, to the downside, I would be using more of my targets to the downside. So whether I would either not short at open, for me personally, although it's an interesting location, I'd probably not short because you do have that 618 not too far away. Even if we hit that 618, we start bouncing. That's going to give you about $10 to the downside. I'd much rather wait, see if we do bounce, get into the 715 range, try to initiate some kind of short there with stop almost maybe high of the day, so $20 stop. But at that point, you probably have that 618 back in your targets, and if not, the lower VPOC, which would be somewhere around 670 or probably a little bit lower, about 660-ish. And at that point, I mean, who knows, it turns into a big bullish engulfing candle, but you get stopped out, but you're risking $20 per share to get to almost $50 a share. So it gives you a better 2-to-1 ratio that doesn't happen. And that would also be the spot where if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I mean, if it retests and just the bulls come in heavy based on news or sentiment or just too beat up already, that's all possible as well. Juan says, check out the video. I'm gonna have to save that video and get back to that one just so I could cover the rest of the markets. But I'm sure it's a terrific video. It's just Juan doing a documentary. Let me check out AMD. We'll see how this one moved. After hours, it's trying really, really hard to hold that level. We broke it a few times. We're just consolidating at pretty much the lows of yesterday. So Tesla will qualify immediately out of the gate for 10 EMA. And I'll play it bullish or bearish. I'm not gonna be biased one way or the other. If we could make at least a 1.2 into the low of either yesterday or preferably the day before that, which would be Friday, then we'll take it bullish. If not, I'll probably have to be patient on Tesla. We also got to check the moving averages, make sure that we're on the right side. It's probably going to be tough to go bullish with 10 EMA because you do want to be below the 10 EMAs on extended and non-extended timeframes. So we'll see. But AMD might qualify at open or very close to it. You don't really want to see that breakdown. Otherwise, I'd be looking probably a little bit more short on AMD. I think I have targets at somewhere around 101. Let me just double check. I lost that screen. Let me get back to this screen. Throw this up here. AMD for targets, targets. To the down, to the upside. So again, it is a retest gap. If we go bullish, the VPOC from yesterday is 105.49. That would be the best location for me to look for a potential short, give me the best risk reward. To the downside, if we end up just falling right out of bed, we'll probably be looking at somewhere around 103 would be the target to the downside. We're still above the 10 EMA on a daily. Let me just double check Tesla to make sure that I think we were getting slightly below the 10 EMA on Tesla. Yeah. So yesterday's close, actually 2 days ago's close put us back on the daily below the 10 EMA. We tried to get above it and failed at yesterday as well. And now we're gapping down. So we probably have a longer term, slight little pullback, be a little bearish, I would assume, on Tesla. Tesla's gapping down. Thoughts on snapback today? Yeah, the snapback could be okay today. If you get the immediate panic out of the gate, I think it would be good. So what I would love to see on Tesla for the snapback, because it is a retest gap, and I do think that at some point we'll come back to retest. But if some people freak out right at the open, I would say the snapback would probably be decent. I would say today would be a decent day to try it. And again, if we run up, I want to see how far that thing could run up. And then I think bearish ultimately is the direction. So either way, I think you can play the snapback for one way or the other. But I think we're going to get a reversal at some point. So however it opens, it probably reverses. Brandon says, I want a $10 million trade. We'll see what we can do. Let me pencil that into the calendar here for you. See if I can get you a $10 million trade. I don't know if you're trading with billions of dollars or not, but that'd be easier if at least for me. If you are, it'd be great. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. But we could qualify potentially with AMD, and it does look like Nvidia will qualify. So Nvidia is below a decent amount of range. It looks a lot like the rest of the market. When is this market going to start to? This one will probably be more of a retest. This one has the best shot of actually retesting because we are still above some of those moving averages, at least for now. We still have 12 more minutes. Things could change a lot, but right now we're above those moving averages. So we're still holding those. It is technically a retest gap, and we are inside this candle still. And on a lot of them, we're still on that candle, that big bullish day. We're just at the very lows of it, where we didn't quite break it yet for the most part. So this one probably gets bought up first and then potentially look for that resell or drop. So be cautious on this one. But it does look, again, not great. You are holding some support levels. Let me get some targets on Nvidia. Daily, we have the 10 EMA on a daily sitting right now at 183.67. So that's going to help hold it up as well. We might get a little bounce off that. Again, it is a retest gap. So that's probably a decent snapback play today as well if we get that initial drop. And then stop location, or where you definitely are thinking, okay, we're definitely going short, will probably be, I'd be looking for about 181.96. That would be breaking that big bullish engulfing candle. And we probably then have, at minimum, we'd be pulling to 178.77 on a bigger time frame. Or if we get some crazy selling today, which again, I don't know if that's the case, but we do have a untested VPOC all the way back at 166.83. So if we have a wild day, which again, I'm not expecting, but who knows? I know Jeremy posted a trade, or not a trade, but he posted a comment in Slack earlier today saying maybe we should take Amazon and replace Apple with Amazon. So I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but ignorance is bliss, and we'll see if we can I'll keep Apple and Amazon up for potential trades. if we could find it. But this does look weak. We are again at some kind of support. It is not Roblox. Get rid of Roblox. No, he's getting rid of Apple. It sounds like so. Whichever it is, but I'm good with Amazon, especially at the cheaper price. I think volatility is going to be pushing higher. That's going to give us some good incentive, I think. Here's another gap down. Again, this is technically a retest gap. We are at a little bit of support. Let me see on Apple the previous VPOC where we could get some kind of initial bounce at least. Yeah, we have a VPOC coming in. What just happened on Apple? No, it was a fake wick just popped in. I was gonna say that pre-market just changed crazy as I'm looking at it. So yeah, we have a previous VPOC or untested VPOC at 143.70. So if you're going to attempt to go long, we're very close to that area, 143.89. So that would be the spot to attempt the retest. Again, I wouldn't be holding it too long. It's technically a retest gap. It's still a little bit more bearish, but I think people are going to want to take profit unless that was their big profit take. I don't know. Fake news. And keep in mind, Apple does have the conference going on all week today. So I think they released something new iPad that looks and feels and operates exactly like the original one. So they all of the Apple products look exactly and do the same exact, like nothing has changed. Nothing has changed ever in Apple, but people just assume it's different. That's my take on it. Just go to 6 tickets. 6 tickers. Roblox is not on 8 cap. Yeah, Roblox not. Is Brendan, is Amazon on there? I believe they are. They are, yep. Okay. AMZN. The Amazon. Yeah, they got that little fake pump too. So I guess it doesn't matter if we trade Apple or Amazon. They're both going to fake pump when they have to. Amazon is gapping down. Let me just see. Amazon. It's going to be I think a little wild in the beginning until it settles down. We have a previous VPOC. Again, all of these VPOCs are. This is going to be a little different for VPOCs because they're all adjusted to the new price. But and honestly, I haven't used VPOCs on stocks that have had splits and been using the updated VPOC. So I don't know exactly how they hold. I have zero faith in the system for that. But we do have the 10 EMA at 118.68. And if the VPOC does want to hold, we would be looking at 120.13 to the downside. However, again, we're still in that bullish engulfing candle on everything. We did have a nice little breakout run yesterday, immediately trapped any of the bulls. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 an inside day, so pretty much 6 or 7 days in a row of pretty much bullishness that probably has to get retested. And I think we were getting that move based on specifically the fact that they were having a split and people were like, Tesla, it's gonna be Tesla again. Snapback was a trap yesterday. All right. Hopefully it's a trap-free day today. What, you don't trust the lines in the chart? The arbitrary lines? I don't see why not. You just draw because if it doesn't work, you just draw a different line. That's all. You're like, all right, new line. So Amazon, it will qualify. We'll keep this on a list. Right now, pre-market with extended hours on, we'd be looking bearish. With extended hours off, based on where this thing opens, we'd be looking bearish as well. So bearish would have to be the play, meaning we'd probably have to sit through the retest if we do want to play bearish on that, but we will see. What am I forgetting? We will take a look at Roblox. Roblo had a little bit of inverse head and shoulders. We had that big move higher. We are gapping below some of those pretty much key support levels. This is a retest. That's a retest. And then probably to the downside for Roblox. Let me see if I got any support. Why do Shillers always draw bullish charts? I I have no idea. I have no idea where this is going, Michael Holt. If you draw enough lines, they eventually work. That's the spirit, Stephen. That is a spirit. Roblox we're inside of a pennant pattern on a daily chart, and we're not really breaking out one way or the other. We're still kind of just trading sideways on the Roblox. So I'll probably stay away from that. Let's take a look at DAL. That one's on the list. That is gapping down. So far doesn't qualify out of the gate at least. But let's see. DAL. We are clearing to the downside some decent levels of support. We have another one, 38.17. We're just kind of jumbled up here. And we have another one, 38.11. If we could break 38.11, we have a little bit more room to free fall down to 36.39. Until that point, though, we're just, I think the entire market, even though we're getting what seems like some wild moves and some bigger moves, ultimately we've had such a wide range that the market's moved that we're just still sitting in it. So just, again, there's ways to make money in the market. It's just, you're not getting those crazy breaks. Justin Maxwell says the old days where Dan would take a trade within 2 minutes of opening bell. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say I'm going to try not to do it. That's all. Affirm, Affirm, I believe, didn't they get beat up yesterday a little bit? Yeah, a lot of it. They're gapping down. I think Apple does have a pay later thing come out, so Affirm got beat up from that. I think Square got a little beat up on that news too. But Apple is now stepping into the buy now, pay never, because it's a good business model. I mean, you get to say you moved more products, which is nice. But yeah, Affirm's getting beat up. I think Affirm, honestly, probably just on the daily chart has to come down a little bit more. I'm looking, and I don't honestly know that I'm going to be buying these guys ever. I have to look more into the financials because I don't want to invest and then make profit never. So I don't want to exactly adopt their business model. But if I'm looking at like an $18 range, that might be a decent spot to try. So we will see. But yeah, it looks probably short out of the gate. We had a little bit of support. That's already breaking pre-market. And I think I don't see any good bullish catalyst. We're below all of the moving averages. Probably short. The only thing, again, it is technically a retest gap as well. So maybe you sit through the first 15 minutes, sit on your hands, and just wait, see if you get a better entry. Right now, it does look fairly weak. You could also try with this. I mean, if you don't mind spending some R's for an attempt, you could be looking for maybe somewhere at, so if you get a retest 22.70, if you must trade right away, that'd be the retest into the pre-market, and then stop would be somewhere at $23. But even that, I mean, I think we could probably get a little bit higher. So 23.57-ish would be a much better attempted short for risk reward purpose, because there is a lot of people that it's based on news catalyst. There's a lot of people probably taking advantage of that news to the short side, and they probably want to lock in some kind of profit. Man, we only got 30 seconds left in the market. The YouTube fam, love you guys. But unfortunately, at this time, we'd have to run real quick. Matt is asking for targets on NEO. Let me get you that information as much as I possibly can. The immediate target to the downside would be 1876. The next one to the downside, 1870, or 1817. To the upside, you have a lot of resistance in the way. So 1910 to the upside. If you clear that, you get a little bit more room, 1976, so a little bit of a tighter range. But YouTube, love you guys. I will catch you guys all tomorrow. Have a terrific day. Be safe out there in the markets. Adios.